Happy New Year! It is January 1st, 2018. And I was requested to do a mirror flush video. It is a good request. It was well timed. So what I did today was I personally went and did a 2-hour cleansing of myself and getting everything kind of revamping. And I'd like to go over the method in pretty good detail. I think it would be a good idea if you had pen and paper to take. I mean, you obviously can pause and replay this video, but you'll probably want to have some sequential notes to this. So the first thing I have to say is when you are going to do a mirror flush, you really need to be pretty close to center phase in order to complete the mirror flush. Otherwise, your mind is going to get very distracted. You're going to stop long before you ever get there. And on top of that, it might even be a bad idea because you're going to have to use some of your own golden light. And if you don't know what that's about, you need to go refer to The Secret of the Golden Flower before you try anything. And you might end up using some of your illumination in order to do something, and that could actually lead you to be a little bit more sick. So what kind of clearing are we talking about? I mean anything to do with thoughts, feelings, phlegm, wind, cold, damp, anything. So before I did my mirror flush today, I actually spent time, no needles. I just used meditation and cleanse a lot of things. And I had, guilt, and I had emotions, I had, anger, and I had all these things rattling around in the body, and I had all this extra charge from the being sick, the chemical attack. And in fact, at one point, I was doing the breathing and I was moving the chi up, and some phlegm would come out. And then finally the blockage came out, and you'll know that you've released a phlegm blockage because what came out, instead of being the normal phlegm, it was all surrounded by clear fluid, and there was a little circular disc like this, and it was orange. And it wasn't yellow like phlegm would be, it was orange, meaning that was the chemical, that was the actual, when I had breathed in the chemicals that my wife had sprayed in the hallway, that combined with the stuff in the liver, I did also the reversing the flow alchemy, and made things twitch and move and reset in my back, in my head, in my eyes, in my ribs, and so things were moving about. And so when that finally let go, and then my body was able to let go of the chemical, and that was the seed that was keeping me from truly healing. And you don't want those things staying in your body forever. So it was a good thing. It was a good thing that somebody asked me to do this video, because it led to first working on the blockages, because those have to be removed prior to accomplishment with the mirror flush. All right, so now once I had done that, I had a nice clean mirror, nice handheld clean mirror. You can use a regular size mirror though if you like. In a well-lit environment. So I had the ceiling lights on, and I had also a glow lamp for increasing the amount of light. And remember that the light inside the body isn't the same as the light that we were seeing here. It's a type of substance. It's like if you could turn the electromagnetic force into an etheric kind of liquid fluid. And it's much more like chi, that state. And it's the same reason why chi is different than electricity. It is not a pure concept of energy. There is something volumetric to it. Well, in the body, the light is also that way. And it's important that you be able to stimulate your body and to massage it and touch it, because you have to help pump things along. When you move fluids along by pushing the positive energy in your fingertips enables things to move on an electromagnetic scale and also on a fluid dynamic scale. So we're talking about two different kinds of physics, but they're both active at the same time, and so that's why we just call it chi. Now, I forgot to mention, I also used my fingertips, and I pulled out a lot of charge from the chest, and because my fingers were clear, and so they just naturally magnetized. And then what I did is I took some peat bog oak and I put it on my chest, and I pumped it into the peat bog oak. So the peat bog oak was pulling stuff. In fact, that was one of the things that led me to get the little yellow disc out. I had to remove all the extra charge, and you could feel its extra charge because it's very prickly. I call it like little popcorns. It's not quite lightning, because you know what that's like, where it is like a sudden zip across your body. This was definitely more of a popcorn hot feeling. It's kind of unpleasant, almost itchy in a way. So anyways, now once I had the mirror, the first step, when you look into this mirror, you need to understand that you are going to see a lot of weird things. If you let your mind wander, if you don't look at it as, oh, I'm staring at myself, how dumb is this? If you actually look at the mirror in terms of, I am coming out of here and being interested in that guy there, or that gal, which is you, but the reflection is what you're seeking. Does that make sense? The coming out of your head and letting the electromagnetic force carry you forward, then reflecting and coming back is absolutely vital. If you continue to see it as, oh, there's that thing over there, I don't like how I look, if you start judging, it won't work at all. You have to sort of separate from yourself for a little bit, and you have to be quiet in your mind. You basically have to have no thoughts. You have to be set to receive. In the same way that your phone has send and receive modes, you need to turn off the send mode. Right? Let your face do the sending, and then you do the receiving. Right? It should be a quiet environment with no distractions. Right? So turn your phone off. Get rid of kids and stuff, and don't have just eaten. Make sure that you're nice and clear. And you just lay back. You have time to actually look deeply in. Now let's talk about the face. The face has a lot of muscles. And the reason it has so many muscles is so that we can be so expressive. And we're so expressive because the Shen and the affect are the same. So we say the spirit, we're not talking about the etheric spiritual substance, but we're talking about the overall presentation of the affect mind. And the affect showing in the face as either bright or dull, right? Dry or lusterful, or lackluster, or a nice ruddy complexion, healthy blood-filled complexion, energetic or tired, very yin-yang. When you first look in that mirror, before you even start, get a general impression. If you have sad lines going down here, start thinking. Don't interpose what that would be, but start allowing yourself to receive those lines and hear what they might be. If you have dots, if you have liver spots, if you have veins, and you're like, oh, what's that vein about? Instead of going, oh, I need to get that fixed, receive that and learn, what is it really about? What are the lines on your forehead about? You've got these different lines. What do they mean? The shadow play. Right? You should have an equally illumined face, right? But there are going to be shadows on your face. And this is not the auric shadows. We're not there yet. We're just talking about how the electromagnetic force is interacting from the outside with the electromagnetic force that you are emanating. How are the two chi meeting each other? And if they are combative, you will see a blockage of energy in that area. Now, the first step, when you start, when you go to the next step, that is, so the second step it would be, is to, I know this sounds weird. You remember those 3D images that you would stare at and you kind of cross your eyes? and then it would kind of pop out at you if you did your eyes right. It's sort of like that. And you're going to cross them. You do have to adjust your ocular focus. That's back here, and you have to adjust. Sometimes you'll be a little bit fuzzy, a little bit sharp. Try and find a blurry but clear phase, and then cross these eyes and make the two eyes sit over one to where you see three eyes. And the first thing you're going to notice is that you're going to be dominant in one side or the other. You're going to tend to see one or the other, and then when you try to make them the same, they'll want to separate. They won't want to hover over each other. So your first job is to make them exactly over each other to where it makes kind of a diamond shape around the flesh of the eye, and then a central eye, which is almond shaped, and then also that you can see both faces equal without bias towards one or the other. And then, again, in receive mode, learn to feel if you feel an area of the head that is dull, cold, or if one eye is covered as if by a blanket or is cold. It might even turn fuzzy as if you're looking through a film. Tears might come up. You have to let them, right? The inner canthus and the outer canthus will clear charges, blockages, dust, and sleep chi. And all those things need to come out as the brightness from inside comes up and is directed forward into the gaze, onto the mirror. And because of the way the optic chiasma crosses, now it's crossing, bouncing back and crossing again, forming an infinity analemma. You are then seeing yourself as one cohesive being. But at first, the, quote, husband and wife of the brain will not want to understand each other. And there will be a cross at odds to get this to work. You need to do it, though, until it finally, the three eyes becomes only one eye. And it's shaped like a so. The pupil, obviously, everything is like this, but your face becomes like this, and all there is one single eye. This is your exterior third eye. Right? Everything has a yin-yang. So even the third eye has a yin-yang. Now, the first yin-yang we always talk about with the third eye is the spiritual versus the physical. So the chakra versus the gland. Right? One is the vortex, the energy vortex that keeps the gland alive. The other one is the fruit that nourishes the energy vortex. Right, now this is the separation, again, of the physical into an internal third eye and an external third eye. So now you end up with three third eyes. Does that make sense? You have a purely spiritual third eye. You have an internal spiritual third eye that is embedded with the external third eye of the body, which is then embedded with the gland third eye. Okay? So there's your two becoming the three. Now, the science has to be consistent if it's going to be a science. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. So the one becoming two, becoming three. Now, you have this third eye. You are staring into this third eye. And now you start to see extreme things. And then it can separate back out. And you work on going fuzzy and clear. Emotions need to be released from the face. Like say you have a sad face or an angry face. If you see snarling, if you see one of your eyes is quivering back at you, your body is angry with you. You have to release that energy to reveal the original face, which of course is a Buddha smile face. And so all this energy has to be dealt with. You're going to see auric, over time, as you're staring at yourself, you're going to see auric shadows. You need to know what color they are so that you know what 5 element. Red shadow and black shadow are the most common. Green is also very common. Yellow is common. And white shadow is the worst. If you're having white shadow, you need to know that your metal phase and your nerves is way out of balance. And the shadows can move around. Even though you're in full light, remember this, you're in the same full light. The light is putting out the same amount of light as it ever was above you. And so what you're receiving is really your interpolation of etheric energies inside your body. Now, they will also tell you which of the 5 elements is out of balance. And then you can go work on that. Each 5 element corresponds to a different emotion. Now, as you start to clear these things, tears are coming out, frustrations, you have to hear the things that you have to say about yourself. And you might see things that you don't want to see. You might see demonic faces. You might see old faces. But you also, when you get into the right state, you might actually see younger faces. When I always get done with the mirror flush, my wife asks, like, what the heck did you do? She doesn't know I'm doing one, you know. And she's like, what? You know, because I look younger. Now, I'm not actually younger. But by doing the reversing, the flow alchemy, and the mirror flush, I'm giving myself a nice, happy reset for the year. Now, clearing this out. Now, remember, bear in mind, I've been planning to do a good reset for several days. And then the mirror flush just happened to be the icing on the cake. So you have to kind of get your ducks in a row. It could take a few days to shine up this moment for it to be perfect and uninterrupted. Don't just hop off of here and like, I got to do it, unless it's the right moment. Now, once you have gone through, then the face getting really fuzzy, and then boom, it'll snap into clarity. It'll be like 3D, ultra 3D, you know, really clear. You see yourself, but without judgment. And that's the really important thing, to see yourself without judgment. And when you can see yourself without judgment, you can assess what is the damage that I have done with my karma. And then you can be honest, but that means not being cruel. It just means being truthful about what you see. Do you like what you see? Do you not like what you see? Your face is going to give you the record. You don't need the entire body for it, although it's useful. You can stick your tongue out, though. Right? You can use your eyes. You can look into the eyes. Look at every structure, every hair, even the way the hairs are arranged, like on the mustaches and stuff. All that will give you information about what's going on inside of you. Now, I may not have the answer for everything, because I only have my face to work with when I do a mirror flush. So I don't have enough data to tell you what every single little thing means. There's a book by Joey Yap on Ming Shen, or face reading. I think also Lillian Bridges has a face reading book, so you can learn about the ancient art of face reading and maybe apply some of that. But the bottom line is, a lot of it is going to be, how do you interpret the receptive energy that you are getting back from yourself? And you're glowing all day long. So how much are you going to take back in and recharge your own golden flower? So moving forward, of course, you're doing breathing work through this, like just calm breathing, nice water breathing. When you get to a place where you can change which face that you have, choose the face you want. Don't choose the face that you feel guilty because you think that is you. Oh, I'm that sad person. I'm that unhappy person. No. That's not how this works. That's not how the mind map works. Choose the face that is the one that you want to aspire to be at all times. And then you will be that. You will vibrate at that. And people will assume you are what you are putting out. Now, once you finish that, you have to stabilize the moment. You have to look for any kind of extra hidden things in the neck, in the ears, right? In the eyes. There might be, if you feel a little something left over in that outer canthus, spend some time on it. Just stare at it until something comes out. Let out any lyrics, thoughts. And when you're complete with the mirror flush, avoid negativity as much as you can, because now you are bright and dark things will come and try and sap you. And if they try and come, put up a strong front, because you have earned the right to keep who you are right now. And I hope this was a good New Year's gift. If you have questions, or if you see something and it scares the bejesus out of you, it's totally understandable. I've been there. The outcome of this, you'll post the questions below. Please like, share, subscribe. And the outcome of this, if you really master it, is you will be able to do the face swapping technique with other people. And I will talk about that another time. Happy New Year. I'll see you later.